Alright, what's up, yins, guys? Time for another video. And I just realized, like an idiot, I don't need to be holding the camera like this forever, talking like in a couple of the other videos I did. I have this fancy silver garbage can and my smartphone holder that actually is shaped like a cat that with paws up over and sitting there. So the wind kind of might be shaking this a little bit. But anyway, I wanted to get into, and meanwhile, I don't want to say meanwhile, I should say furthermore, and first and always, I don't really give a rat's ass about any other kind of shitty comments I get from this. Right in advance, if it ain't anything to elaborate on what I'm saying in any kind of a way, or if it only elaborates on one other thing and your comment indicates, la 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 la, I don't hear you, I just want to bash you for whatever the hell else you don't like something I'm saying, or if you're on here and you don't like my so-called bad cooking and you think that the majority of the world is on your side or something, when I actually have followers that agree with me. But anyway, what I wanted to say about this, my subject matter here is what we should be learning from this pandemic thing that happened. And I was going to try to toy in with the idea of making this video without using any kind of words like the pandemic or COVID, because YouTube and other media sites not only like that they hear if you have any music coming from your TV or from your radio, you get flagged. But if I held a sign up that said pandemic or COVID or disease and not said any words like it's happened on social media, it gets detected. You get that little, which I don't give a shit about. I just wanted to, before I made this video, was thinking about trying to say it with different words to see if I can get it without that little COVID blah 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 flagging thing over there. Because I would say this because I had a couple of people that I'm subscribed to with their fitness videos that they use the COVID-19 or post-COVID-19 fitness in their titles, that they're getting their stuff flagged with that. But anyway, I don't want to go on and on about that. But anyway, what I actually was saying is what we should be learning from this already, and I'm going to get probably either the YouTube algorithms will even block me even from getting trolls or whatever too, because it does that. It'll open up the algorithms for a while, and when I actually want to get trolls or different people, and when YouTube knows that you're trying to get the trolls, you'll get them for a while and it'll just shut off everything. But anyway, some people may not like it or not. Whether you like it or not, hopefully this bullshit doesn't happen all over again, whatever you think of it. But what we all should learn from this is anybody, especially with them stupid ass protests on the television or whatever, for whatever reason that a cop did this or that. For one thing, it was no excuse to gaslight the whole world, and all of a sudden everybody doing this massive vandalism. I don't want to make the video all about that, but I'm saying in this video, anybody in crowds for whatever reason, even if it was for peaceful protests, my definition of peaceful protest really is standing there with signs, not just standing there and shutting up. I don't mean that. Peaceful protest is my idea of peaceful protest that I approve of, is standing there with signs, maybe saying some kind of chant or whatever, or a big sign, not blocking traffic in crowds and not yelling and harassing people and pounding on doors, and not going in people's residential areas, breaking down gates of a gated area and causing somebody to come out with their guns and blaming them for it, that had nothing to do with it, which my definition of that is mass harassment. That's not protest, that's mass harassment and flexing of like a gangy type element, which is wrong. Nobody or no main. Okay, no. No, where you hear that vehicles going by and making noise. No mainstream internet media or TV media or any group has any right to make a hero out of somebody that was killed by a cop with the intention of instigating massive vandalism and using that as a tool for their own purposes. None of that shit should have happened. Protests should have happened to invoke, if you will, the going to of Attorney General's office and the proper authorities. But I didn't want to make it all about that. First of all, I didn't want to go into all of that. The only reason I'm going into all of that is that during a disease that was happening, if you will, that could have been worse, by the way, and this I say to you, if you got this far, I don't give a shit either way. Even if you don't like me, what you should be learning, if any shit like this hopefully doesn't happen again, and had this have been some, let's say if it was a deliberate bioweapon or something else shows up, or God forbid somebody deliberately created some kind of strain of something, whether you like me or not, or anything, or like what I'm saying, a lot of you would have been dead. And really a lot of people that was involved in or condoning or outside in them crowds, and whether you were doing them vandalisms or if you were kind of protesters that didn't do the vandalisms but condone it, really should have been all dead. And it would have been rightly so. But the only reason I don't glorify that aspect of it all, or because, say, if that happened and they were all dead, that would mean a disease would be so bad that even the people that were staying away from all of these assholes, some of them would still get it and die. But what I'm saying is everybody that stood out of crowds, even if you were a fucking asshole white leftist that talked all their shit on media, whether it was Twitter or media, and was a poser, right, but didn't go to any of the crowds, guess what? If you were one of those, you'd actually still be alive right now, and you'd be seeing an ugly reality in front of your eyes. Yeah, what would you eat? Yeah, and maybe I'd grace you with some of my bad cooking, or you can maybe eat when when everybody was, say, if it was an apocalyptic scenario, and then most everybody died, and it was like you see in movies. Yeah, maybe if no other crowds of other people didn't loot out all the food from all the stores first, like right when this bullshit was happening, and everybody all of a sudden was entitled to a free TV from a Walmart or a Target. But say this was an apocalyptic scenario, any of you guys watching, good or bad, all the food would have been all looted, right? And maybe you wouldn't eat my bad cooking that was still in the refrigerator, which I would run out of the food and be making less of, and maybe cooking it differently. You'd maybe be eating out of an outdated can of something, and hopefully it wouldn't like kill you or whatever the hell, or make you all sick. But anyway, say if this shit ever happened again, and it could, you got to worry about terrorism or whatever, or if this would have been any worse. The most idiot thing that anybody's ever done during some kind of what we had, or the most idiot thing that anybody could ever do, say if it, God forbid, this shit ever happened again, or it was something worse, be thankful it wasn't something worse. The most idiot thing that you can do is go in a crowd because of somebody's fucking protest. And all that bullshit people are saying, oh, if you don't, quote, fight alongside as you're part of the oppressors. Hey, I would rather be accused of that than being the one dead, say such a disease did kill more people. Oh, the mainstream media is saying, oh, how terrible it is, all the lives, and Biden, see now, old President Biden saying, oh, the lives, trying to act like he's worried so much about the lives that were lost, and grandstanding, pretending to care. Well, yeah, I agree with them that, yeah, lives were lost. It was a bad thing, but I also think that the people that had no business doing vandalism, I kind of don't really give half a rat's ass if they died or not. I do feel sorry for the peaceful people who maybe wish in their own hearts wanted to do a peaceful protest in a crowd. I feel bad that they died. If any of them died, I feel bad for them, and I wouldn't have advised any of them to be going out there in crowds. Yeah, there was a few people that I knew that were friends with me on certain media and that were dancers and some fitness, and I just gave hints to them that maybe they should change some of their ways that I wanted to halfway agree with. But since they were friends, unlike other people I wanted to tell off, some of them I just felt like fucking telling off. So I quietly unfriended them because they weren't listening, because they got radicalized or whatever. They really, literally abandoned their dreams, if you will, or their activities that originally their media accounts were a platform for. They abandoned all their hobbies and all their cool stuff and turned it into a fucking social media site that they can jump on the bandwagon with protests and try to make money off of that and get PayPal and be a soldier for that, which is a really a dumbass idea. They don't care about it at all. It was I'm just looking and shaking my head. If you had friends and all that, you kind of wanted to be polite and kind of say, yeah, but, because they're people you know, but you say one more thing and just, bye-bye. The hell with them. Yeah, so, but it's a damn shame that it actually had to come to this now, didn't it? And you got this far, my idea of the mask thing was a totally different issue in one aspect. I was halfway as far as the mask wearing, in a sense that rather than argue people, go there, get my food, and get the fuck out and be nice. And then what I used to do is right when I'm so many feet from the door, toward the door, I used to deliberately take it off just to be cute, rather than get in arguments with people, all this other, which that is a whole other freaking video or rant that I would say on its own to make a whole video out. And my reason, if you're paying attention to this, and a lot of you people that just want to make one comment and la 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 la, I don't hear you. Obviously, I can just delete your comment and just block you or whatever, because not that I don't want to say anything back or whatever too, that I can see right away because of the comment, really. I don't really have to fucking answer it. I can answer it in a fuck you kind of way. But the only reason I don't have to answer it really is because I can see already by your comment that you didn't listen to hardly any aspects of the video. You just came by and your cooking is bad and disgusting and blah, 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 blah. Already those. But anyway, with that being said, to continue with this, if you got this far, my thing about wearing the mask, say if you were following certain prepper things, have the masks around. And the reason why I'm partial to wearing them and wasn't against them, I'm not some asshole that's walking around in the street with no people around like freaking idiots showing how obedient they were. That was fucking stupid. I'm kind of was walking by them, especially in a new town, trying to act like in my head I'm jamming to some kind of song, so I'm not laughing. I don't want to be rude and laugh at anybody when I'm in a new town or whatever. But and there's some people that maybe have some kind of things, physically, different age groups. I do understand that. But okay, getting to my idea of why I was partially wear it in an establishment. Well, in public transportation or stuff, you don't know who you're next to anyway. Yeah, I didn't want to get a cold or get any kind of other thing from them that can be a vehicle for getting the disease, so just because you don't know nothing about it. And the idea of being next to people that way. And the idea that I was already partially used to wearing one. I used to wear one even if a company I worked for, if you will, did not make me wear one. And I can say this in a separate video, if you will, and I might For example, I worked assignment jobs before, that I held a job for a decade, some good paying job. But I've worked in assignment work where construction company once used my agency, put you on assignment as a subcontractor. You do their dirty work, shovel, broom, whatever the fuck. And you'd be in different industrial environments, and sometimes in the outside or inside environment where there's concrete dust or dirt below and around. And sometimes there can be shredded anything. Metal shavings, fiberglass, or dirt if it's a drive. Picking up concrete bags. Anything manufacturing dust. I worked for a cement factory. Some of them will make you wear protective glasses or a mask. And sometimes when people don't make you, I think it's wise to carry one so you don't make yourself fucking sick and get stuff in your lungs that'll hurt you, and it won't show up, but you'll have for the rest of your life. So since I wore shit like that already, I'm familiar with it. And say if you're not a fanatic, what people call fanatics, a prepper, they'll call preppers fanatics, you should have masks, maybe something around, maybe if you did work, if you will, like I did anyway, you know what I mean? It's a good thing to do in that respect. And since I was already used to doing that, I was able to go halfway, you know what I'm saying, with the mask thing. Same way I did with knee pads, whether they make you wear them or not, and a lot of places don't. I already knew the kind of work I was doing. I carried them with me and put them on because I wound up either on one knee or both knees. Like, for example, a theater, which before the pandemic, one of my assignments was helping construction workers tear all the rugs out of a theater. They were taking out the chairs, we put new rugs in, but I was the one that they were getting from the agency to do the shitty work, which was good at tearing that shit up. And sometimes, go on one knee and for whatever thing, taking brackets off of something instead of standing up and hurting your back. It's a lot to explain. Or other kind of so I was able to wear the mask anyway. But like I said, in a store, what I used to do, I didn't want that fucking drama I was hearing on the news or you're hearing about. I want to just get my food and get out. I don't need that. Didn't need that bullshit. So that's what I did. Put it on, get my food, and get out. And what I used to do, like say in places like Walmarts and that, I used to be just with a smirk, just for shits and giggles, take the mask off when I'm like a bunch of feet away from the door. And shit, I do shit like that, you know what I mean? Doing things to better yourself during those times. In some of the exercise things that I do, which in my channel, before this shit ever happened, it was meant to be outside of industrial places, on concrete, while everybody was fucking smoking cigarettes or sneaking in and smoking their joints or whatever the hell. Or sitting in the lunchroom, gossiping, whether it was the hens gossiping or the male gossips and people that mock so-and-so or whatever, or give you the stares when you go in the workplace or whatever, or in the lunchroom, or talk under their breath, or talk about you when you go in or out of there, which I can get into why people that don't want that. And I can go on and on about that. So really what I was doing during this whole deal, which wasn't during the pandemic. It was shit I was doing all along in job assignments. That's what it's for. So I don't have to give a rat's ass about, oh yeah, you're doing this stuff in combat boots that restrict your movements. My ways of doing it is while you're wearing steel toe boots and all that shit, you know what I mean? And where instead of people smoking their cigarettes, you go out back of the building and do whatever thing like that. So I don't think I have to explain that shit to a bunch of people. I think the people that made the shitty comments that stemmed from my bad food videos know that fucking well. Or maybe they don't. Or maybe they don't got that kind of mind. Or they're probably the ones that worked in fucking, what do you call it, fast food jobs, maybe that they hate. And they'll go and smoke their cigarette or, oh yeah, I put in my time, where's the paycheck so I can go buy my bag of weed or my beer. And they're sneaking to smoke a cigarette. That's all they're thinking about. And they'd be giving me dirt. The ones that make the bad comments would be giving me the dirty ass looks in real life and making fun, which they don't have to do any of that stuff themselves. But they're so against it. It's something to either laugh at or say, "Oh, you suck," or something that's it's some kind of wrong thing. Oh, how dare you do anything and be better than me and reduce any chances of, say, if you don't like me that much or whatever, and make your snarky comments that do anything that kills the chances of that even a couple people who once are gonna put their hands on me and be able to do anything really easy, so to speak. Yeah. But I'm trying to put that all together because everything I do is basically. You look at anything I do on the channel, guess what? If I was still alive, where a lot of you guys a lot of you guys were not, guess what? I would still be a lot better off than some of you. Put it that way. And any of you agree with me that don't even do half of what I do or think half what I do. If you didn't go in the crowds with these fucking bunch of people, your asses would be still alive. And like I said, if it was a worse disease, some of these other people, their asses would be very dead. Put it that way. So if you got this far in this video, if that shit ever happens again, even the people, whichever political side you're on, whatever color you are, and that's another thing, if I wanted to bring up race, whether you're black or white, you want to hang with other races or people the same race as you that don't want to be in the crowds, maybe for their religious reasons. Maybe if you can't stand mainstream religion, but yet you lean more to your neighbor, whether your neighbors that are either black or white, say they swear a little bit and smoke and they go to the local church, or they hang with the people that go to the black church a little bit. Whichever color they are, you should lean toward them and maybe say, well, you're not a religious fanatic and you don't do mainstream religion, but say, you know what, hang with the people of your color and other colors that at the very least, for religious reasons and Book of Revelation reasons, or for those reasons, do want to stay out of crowds. And if you're black or white watching this, my thing is also too, don't join the crowd, whatever color you are. Worry about your own friends and your own fucking family. Don't worry about who got killed by a cop and hang with those people that did all that vandalism and shit. And I hate to say it, even so-called the peaceful protest, like I said, that ain't the ones that really meant it to be peaceful. Don't go with those crowds either. What you should have been doing, even if they say what's a wink wink peaceful protest, you should be talking your friends out of going to the peaceful ones, you know what I mean? And I wanted to say in a separate video, but I'll go ahead and finish off while it's on my mind, say, if you were black or white watching this, say if you're black and you're like people I worked with and I went to school with, and you say you want to do something peaceful and I don't care, I would be talking you out of it and saying, because out of concern, or if you're black or white or you're a friend of some of my other friends, I'd be saying, you really don't want to do this, not just because of a pandemic going on, because of all the other shit going on out there, and somebody decides to start a fire or burn something, you'll get blamed for it. And say you do go there, right, and you meant to be peaceful, well, and somebody starts doing shit that you don't agree with and you want to hightail it the fuck out of there, right? You would get blamed for it even then because, somebody in a camera on a telephone pole saw you running away, walking away real fast. Maybe you're hightailing it out of there, right? And according to the camera, it didn't see you do anything. You were getting one of the people running that happened to be doing stuff. You'll get blamed, and there'd be all kind of trouble. So, there you go. I think I about covered it.